quick fire before we get off of here. The Celtics, next round. Unfortunately, we were going to do this whole preview thing tonight if some results fell the way in which we thought they were going to fall. But the New York Knicks, they lose to the Detroit Pistons tonight at Madison Square Garden in game 5, up 3-1 in the series over the Pistons. The Knicks lose. So now that series heads back to Detroit, to the Little Caesars Arena. The Knicks up 3-2 over the Pistons. One of those two teams will be playing the Boston Celtics in the 2025 Eastern Conference Semifinals. But from your guys' perspective, quick fire, Knicks or Pistons, who should we want to face? Andrew, we'll start with you.
I kind of I'll go Pistons. I'll go Pistons because I just obviously Knicks. The Pistons are a young squad that has a lot that they want to prove, and they have a bright star in Cade Cunningham and a lot of good pieces. But I just think that the Pistons from a young team perspective, just in this finals, like they just don't have it guys to match up with the Celtics and compete in a full 7-game series. So that's kind of how I see it. And but also I wouldn't mind seeing the Knicks like we talked about, because I would like to have that playoff atmosphere and have that Celtics Knicks playoff energy once again.
Franco, that was a very ominous get up from you. What do you got for us?
Well, talking about Detroit first, Justin, I love you, but I just can't let that series happen. You know, anyone knows that I need this New York series more than New York needs it. New York has been talking up my tree. I don't know where he's been. He obviously disappeared during the playoffs because he's got to focus on his own team. But we've had a few people yapping in our comment sections telling us, oh, Boston should be afraid of New York. New York's right on your ass. Look at the standings. Look at the standings. Well, guess what? You guys got locked in probably 2 weeks into the series. I need that New York series more than I need anything else because just of the pure marketability of it and the fact that we haven't received that series. It's something fresh. That's what is very exciting about this playoff run for the Celtics. It's not the same matchups that we are so accustomed to seeing. It's not that treacherous Miami Heat series. It's not that Milwaukee Bucks series. It's not that Philadelphia 76ers series. It's these new up and rising teams, and the New York Knicks have been gypped of the opportunity. Well, not gypped. They just haven't been good enough to reach the point of advancing past the first round.
Exactly. You got to get it right. But, nothing going against the Knicks but themselves.
But yeah, they made a couple of moves this offseason. They moved on from Julius Randle. They were able to get Mikal Bridges. OG Anunoby obviously happened during the trade deadline last season. They also got Cat, but guess what? Boston has a fucking dog. They have a dog. They have a dog. Sorry, New York. You're going to be hearing a lot of that during this series because that is the series that we're getting into. You guys got the cat. We have the dog, Luke Cornett.
Now throw that cat mask away. Throw that thing. Seriously. Toss it. There we go. Thank you. That's the energy we got to bring against Cat and the New York Knicks next round, because I do believe it's going to be the Knicks. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I think the Knicks are going to win one of the next 2 games. Game 6 obviously would be the most optimal, but here's my thing. Game 7 back at the Garden. Now, I know last year, Knicks Pistons, it went a certain way for the Knicks. The home crowd advantage didn't play into the hands of the Knicks. But this year, the Pistons, gutsy win in Game 5. I'll say that. Gutsy win in Game 5. Gutsy win in Game 2 in this series. But the Pistons in that spot, it's a big spot for them. We saw the meltdown in Game 1. We've seen their offense down the stretch. Not always the best options. Obviously, Cade Cunningham is getting what he wants, but the rest of the offense it doesn't look like they have a consistent flow down the stretch. And the Knicks, well, I should say the Pistons, talking about the Pistons. I was talking about the Pistons offense right there, but the Pistons offense, uh, even outside of their offense, just the little details down the stretch of games for the Pistons have been they've been fumbling the details a little bit down the stretch against the Knicks in this series, particularly trying to get the ball in bounds, trying to get past half court, just running a simple play on the offensive end in which they know can get them a bucket. The Pistons are certainly lacking that. Their offense down the stretch. The Pistons and the Rockets look a little similar right now, where down the Pistons understand Cade Cunningham's going to be running the offense, and that's the advantage the Pistons have over the Rockets. But they're two offenses that strike me as a little thin come crunch time when it comes to the options they really trust and believe in, as well as play styles. So the Pistons kind of relatable to the Rockets in the sense, obviously, half of their roster is still very young. The other half, veteran-led roster, but like I've said, I hate to call guys scraps, but they were kind of scraps from other teams. Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley. They're quality players, but they're players in which teams who had them before didn't exactly want. And the Celtics in a playoff series against the Pistons, think they would be able to attack multiple mismatch opportunities against the Pistons, as well as shut down many of the Pistons' options. And we saw some of that come out within this Orlando series as well. The Orlando Magic role players never stepped up, not once, this entire series. That could be the same for the Detroit Pistons if the Celtics and Pistons meet next round. However, I think it's going to be the Knicks. I think the Knicks, they have the best clutch time player in this series in Jalen Brunson. He's shown that time and time again. They have a lot in Karl Anthony Towns. They go through both of those guys. But I think the Knicks are going to pull out this series against the Pistons. I think they're going to win one of two in games, either 6 or 7. 7 will be at home for the Knicks, and if they lose Game 6, I still have a lot of what do I have in the Knicks to win Game 7? I don't want to say faith because I don't know if it's faith that I have. I don't want to say it's
You
hope either because I don't want to hope the
expectation.
Knicks win either.
You
I have
expect.
I expect
expect.
I have confidence, right? I have confidence in the Knicks potentially winning that Game 7 at home. And if they do, the Celtics, we've talked about this Knicks Celtics matchup all season long. First of all, the Knicks have two scoring options. It's Towns, it's Brunson. Those two guys, they're both defensive liabilities for the Knicks, which will be problems for them next series. We didn't see that in this Magic series. Magic, a great defensive team, versatility off the charts. Offensively, had no options whatsoever. Well, this Knicks team, they're going to have two great offensive options who are going to be defensive liabilities out there on the floor. And then the rest of their defensive oriented players for the Knicks, they're actually going to be offensive liabilities. Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby. Mikal Bridges, the better offensive player of the trio there, I will say, and we all know he can get his shots up. But just out of those three, I think the Celtics are going to be able to take those guys away. I think they're going to be able to put pressure on Brunson. I think they're going to be able to attack Brunson. They're also going to be able to throw a lot of physicality. Think of all 5 bigs on the Celtics roster. They're going to have a lot of physicality to throw at Karl Anthony Towns, and it's going to be a much different style of series the Celtics see against the Knicks, and I would not be surprised whatsoever if the Celtics actually find an easier time playing the New York Knicks than they did the Orlando Magic in the first round. Well, I would not be surprised whatsoever. The Knicks depth as well. The Knicks off the bench, Campaign, Miles McBride, Achua. Like there really isn't much off the Knicks bench either right now. That's been a huge downfall of the Knicks this season is their depth. They came in with no depth, never really addressed that throughout the season. They're another team paying a lot for the top of their roster, as are the Celtics. Obviously, this year, but the Knicks are another one of those teams. I expect the Knicks to win this series. I expect it to be Celtics Knicks finally. We finally third time's a charm, folks. Third time's a charm. We try something for a third time. Sometimes it works out. And that would be the Celtics and Knicks. Again, 2023, the Heat beat the Knicks before they reached the Celtics. 2024, the Pacers beat the Knicks before they reached the Celtics. 2025, will it be the Pistons? Still to be seen, but right now the Knicks do have the upper hand, up 3-2 on the Detroit Pistons. The Knicks will look to close out that series on Thursday night, 2 nights after the Boston Celtics close out their series against the Orlando Magic here tonight